Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my theory tuition series. Over this last few videos I've been talking about intervals, and today I'm going to take a closer look at the interval of an octave or an eighth. If you're working towards an ABRSM grade, or even if you want to find some further examples for revision to work on this topic, I cover this subject in videos in grades 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 in the relevant sections and in increasing difficulty, and you can find the links to those videos in the cards and also in the description below. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets, and you can download those in A4 or US letter, and they contain all the information that you need to help you through those grade studies. You can also find links to the books that I have available on that website, and I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM music theory exam. It's full of hints and tips on how to best prepare for your exam, and also how to make the best use of your time on exam day. So if you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find it all there. If you can give me a like, that would be really fab, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. And now we're going to have a look at the subject of eighths or octaves. Either way, it means the same thing. Now, octaves, just like fourths and fifths, are always referred to as perfect intervals. There is no major or minor form. There's no such thing as a major octave or a minor octave. The reason for this first became apparent in the medieval music era, where the octave, along with the fourth and the fifth, was referred to as a perfect consonant, as it was viewed to have the most pure sound. Later investigation has shown that the quality of the note of an octave, along with a fourth and a fifth, is reflected in the fact that the frequency of the sound waves is represented by a simple whole number, not sort of degrees and fractions. That pure sound is found in the frequency of a whole frequency number. By the 1600s, fourths, fifths and octaves were considered to be slightly too bare and open a sound because of that very pure tone, and so other intervals in harmony became more favoured, and so instead of referring to them as perfect consonants, they became known as perfect intervals, and we call them perfect intervals still. So we're still relating back to the harmonic frequency quality, but we don't now view them as a perfect consonance in harmony, and so we'll call them perfect intervals. However, we can still adjust them by raising and lowering them, and we'll look at that a little bit further. So first of all, let's look at this perfect octave, where you can see we've counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 steps up this ladder system of the stave. We always count the bottom note as number 1, and if you just work through the steps that you've counted as we work up line, space, and so on, we've gone from C to D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and you can see that we've travelled through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 steps. So we would call this an octave or an eighth, and we'd refer to it as a perfect octave. So that's that in its sort of first basic form. So let's just give ourselves a few other examples from C to C. I'm writing in the treble clef here, and we can see how we can adjust that perfect interval. And so a piano keyboard is an excellent visual aid. Even if you don't play piano, it's really fab to just be able to visualise what's happening with those intervals. So C to C is our perfect octave. However, if we shrink that down a semitone by lowering that top C by a flat, so that's C flat, don't get mistaken into thinking we're calling it B, because C flat is the enharmonic equivalent. Bit of a mouthful there, and we're still on this note C. We've only travelled all the way up to 8, so we still need to show that, and it's C flat. So C flat has now made that interval smaller. Now there's no major or minor, so we go straight from perfect, and because we've made it smaller, we've diminished that interval. It's called a diminished octave or eighth. Now we can do that same process, we can diminish that perfect interval from the bottom note. So instead of from C to C, if we raise that bottom C by adding a sharp, we've raised it by a semitone and we've diminished that interval by a semitone. So C sharp at the bottom to C at the top is also a diminished octave. We've made it smaller by one semitone. And so now we can actually show how we can stretch that. So from C to C is perfect, and if we just extend that interval by raising the top note by a sharp, we've augmented that interval, we've made it bigger, and so bottom C to top C sharp is an augmented octave. And again, we can do that by extending the bottom note instead. So C to C is perfect. And if we extend that bottom note to C flat, we've made it bigger. Remember, we're still referring to the note C here, and we're extending it by adding a flat sign. We're not adding another step down the ladder. We're not going down to note B. We're calling it C flat, the enharmonic alternative. And C flat to top C, we've extended or augmented that octave, and so again that's an augmented octave. And so hopefully that's helped to clarify the topic of intervals of an octave. If you want to find some more practice in this subject, you can find links in the description below and also in the cards to all of the videos that I've made on this tutorial subject. And you can also find some information in the PDF, so do visit sharonbill.com and make use of all of the resources and information that's available there to help you. Please give me a like, that would be really super, and do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's lots more in store. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!